Hi there, the Referee Forum. It's been a while since I've made any sort of meaningful content as far as podcasts go. So I thought I've got a fair few things have happened since the last episode. I did in fact record a whole episode, edit it together, and the person who I recorded it with and myself, well, we decided it wasn't a good time to release that content for either of us. So that's kind of on the back burner. I don't think there was any sort of time-sensitive stuff that was recorded in that. I'll have to have a listen back. But there's a secret episode that has been recorded. I can't tell you who that guest was on the podcast. So there's a little bit of mystery there for you. Ooh, who was it? But I wanted to record something because it's been far too long since the last episode, and as I said, interesting things have happened in the meantime. So, without further delay, I would like to throw back this to a few weeks ago. You may, if you follow the social channels on the Referee Forum, and if you don't, why not? You definitely should. We've got an incident that happened in Cheshire or Manchester, can't remember specifically where it was, but there was a veterans football game. Now, veterans in this instance means that the players were over the age of 35 years old. Not in, if I was playing football, I would qualify for a veterans game. I know you're thinking, surely not, Anne. You must be in your late teens at best. But no, I'm a lot older than that. But there was a game between Penlake Veterans and the Unicorn Veterans. Hello there, it's your fearless director, and how are you doing? A bit of an impromptu podcast episode, this one. I'm here with Shoretown Football Club to referee a charity match for Eric Mann. Now, if you remember, if you're following the Facebook group and page especially, you'll know that a few weeks ago, Eric Mann, who's 81 years old, was refereeing a football match when suddenly he had a heart attack. The two teams he was refereeing at the time were the Unicorn and Penlake Veterans in the Cheshire Veterans League. And the guys there obviously did a fantastic job in reviving him. They did the chest compressions. Unfortunately, I think there was a youth coach on the pitch next door who had one of the defibs in his medical bag at the time, and that was used as well. It just goes to show how important it is for those defibs to be accessible should the worst happen. So anyway, a charity match was arranged so that match could be replayed. The guys at Withing Shoretown Football Club have very graciously allowed this fixture to be held here today. So I'm just going to do a bit of a walk around, chat to some people, and make a short episode on what the crack is. Let's go and have a look. Okay, so I'm here at the Eric Mann charity football match, and I'm joined incredibly by Liam, the man who, it's fair to say, saved Eric's life. What do you remember of the day?
It's crazy. The whole day keeps flashing, having flashbacks towards it. It was just a mental morning. I remember I was coaching my team, Stockport Dynamos, on the pitch next to where Eric was refereeing. And there was a commotion, all of a sudden the players came running over asking if anybody was medically trained because somebody had gone down. And I remember thinking someone had rolled an ankle or something and just needed a bit of support with that. And so I kind of started walking over, and then I remember them saying that he wasn't breathing. And I didn't know I could run as fast as I did. We got over and obviously saw Eric in his predicament, and just went into autopilot mode really. Thankfully I'd only just done my FA emergency aid course as a refresher a month before it, something like that. So it was bang fresh in the memory, but they don't train you for the real thing. It's a different scenario, and Eric was in a bad way, and it was very clear quite early on he'd stopped breathing, and we needed to get to work. So thankfully the paramedics were pretty quick getting on the scene as well, and the team, both teams that he was refereeing as well were superb, and we got him to a place where we gave him a fighting chance going into the ambulance, thankfully. And I just remember spending the rest of the day waiting for an update to see how he was, which thankfully it turned out it's good news, and I'm delighted he's in today.
Exactly as the family was saying, here we are 10 weeks later and Eric is still with us. So your actions on that day and the actions of everyone that helped, you're the reason Eric's still here today. It's amazing.
Like
it's amazing.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm glad, and it's that he's still around. And I said to the family, there's real no need for thanks. I'd like to think I only did what anyone else would do in that scenario. But the one thing from me, if I may, is just that. That important, stressing the importance on, if you're involved in football or any sport, if you can do emergency aid training, or even in the workplace or school or any environment whatsoever, if you have access to an emergency aid course, absolutely do it, because you just don't know when you might need it.
Absolutely.
And mine's got its value. Mine's had its value, so there you go.
Thanks very much, Liam. Enjoy the day, and we'll see you later. Thanks
Certainly
for
try.
chatting.
Thank you very much.
All right, nice to meet you. How are you, good sir? You look a darn sight better than when I last saw you, that's for sure. How are you?
You've been here, there and everywhere.
I know. You've been through the wars, haven't you?
Okay. You alright?
Thank you, Eric.
Photos were done at the start. It was very light, very lovely. Eric got his cheque for £5,000 from my bird. He's going to use that money to go on a holiday. Very much deserved after what happened. But Eric and his family have got off. They left about 8 minutes ago in the first half. It's a bit cold today, even though it is the end of April. Should be warm, but it's not. What can you do? I mean, it's not raining either. This is sweat, just from walking inside the centre circle. It's a big centre circle here. But so far so good. The score is 3-2. We've had some amazing goals. Really, really good standard of football in this game. Looking forward to the second half. Whoa, so it's the end of the game, ready to head home. Finished 4-3 to Penlake. What a cracking game it was. There were some amazing goals in that one. I sure hope that those were captured by someone so I could share them in this video. If not, you'll just have to take my word, there were some cracking goals. And yeah, there was they're going to make it an annual thing, Eric Mann Trophy. The same two teams will play at Wythenshawe Town Football Club every year. Great, nice little thing there. It's really, really good. So there we go. That's this wrapped up. A new segment that I'm going to start doing is refereeing news. Now that will make the content less evergreen, in the sense that all the old podcasts are just interviews and they're interesting things with people, but when you include news and current affairs and whatnot from the world of refereeing, it dates it. But it also gives us something to talk about in terms of, well, let's look at what happened a year ago or 2 years ago. Is it a good idea to include referee news? I don't know, because generally the referees in the news, it's never good news. Well, at least it hasn't been. Hopefully the culture of refereeing, especially in England, will change from next season. Howard Webb himself, who is now heading up the referees of the PGMOL, which are the elite referees in England, the ones that you see refereeing the Premier League, he said that dissent has gone up and up and up in the past few seasons, to the point where now it's become absolutely ridiculous and action needs to be taken. Are these words, or will there be action to back them up? Time will tell. But news in terms of refereeing, what's going on, well, it's just big appointments, isn't it? We've got referees such as Simon Mosiniak, who's been appointed to Inter Milan against Manchester City, the UEFA Champions League final. He's proven himself to be an exceptional referee, especially he's had an incredible past 12 months at the World Cup and now at the elite European Championship level as well. What an incredible... If you think back, the World Cup wasn't even 6 months ago, so what an incredible 6 months this man has had, and I wish him the best in the Champions League final. That probably means fuck all in the grand scheme of things, But it would be a good talking point if somehow he managed to go like, oh, Ant from that referee podcast, wish me luck. I won't let him down. But as far as a grassroots refereeing podcast goes, I'm sure I speak for many, many grassroots referees when I say best of luck to Simon and the team. And I'm sure you'll smash it as you have done in the World Cup and for most of the games that you've refereed this season. So best of luck to you and your team. So another incident that's happened in the world of refereeing is obviously the Vinicius Jr footage that has emerged recently. He's alleged that there was racist abuse from the crowd. He's been wound up by it. He's lashed out at opponents and has got sent off. Why is it that the victim of racist abuse, I mean, you look at the high-profile ones from the past few years, Mario Balotelli stands out for me. They get abused, but they're the ones that end up getting sent off because of their reaction instead of the perpetrators of the racist abuse. They just sit there till the end of the game. Maybe they get a ban after the game. But is it really enough to stop the widespread racial abuse? Clearly not. Clearly not. You see it on Twitter a lot, this toxic machismo culture in football. It's a cancer, and it ultimately, I think it will kill football off in terms of you've got a new generation of fans coming through, and this whole hooligan, ultra sort of attitude to it, it's dying off. Thank God it's dying off, but as it dies off, it will have alienated a lot of these younger fans as well. And I don't think that families are staying away from football now because of what they see in those sorts of things. But yeah, wow. More racist abuse in football. And it's long past time that any abuse in football was actually dealt with at the highest level. When was the last time you heard FIFA saying, yeah, we're going to use our incredible reach and scope and ability to do things to actually do something? It can't be your local county FAs dealing with this stuff. It needs to be top down. I'm talking about the very top, FIFA down, to eradicate this cancer in football. So I was at Anfield the weekend just gone for Liverpool against Aston Villa. I wasn't there to watch the game. I was working. I do a bit of security, if you didn't know that. But Liverpool have been aggrieved by refereeing decisions in that game, so much so that they've written a strongly worded letter to the PGMOL and basically complaining about John Brooks not sending off, was it Tyrone Mings, I think? Or what happened there? Cody Gakpo got kicked in the chest. Was it dangerous? Was it careless? Was it reckless? The referee has seen it in real time, as has the VAR, has seen it back, multiple replays. The VAR was clearly happy that the referee has taken the decision. A yellow card is there. It baffles me why clubs can't accept that there's a referee and a system of laws to get a game played as fairly as possible. And when it doesn't go the way they want, they're writing letters and they're complaining in the media, and to a certain extent, the managers are abusing referees to the point where they're getting touchline bans and £75,000 fines. Why can people just not accept a decision? I don't know if this is a culture thing away from football as well, but people are just seemingly not accept. No, I don't like this decision, therefore it's wrong. Well, that's sadly not how it works. It's incredibly frustrating, and it is filtering down to grassroots. I've encountered it myself with, I think back to the game I did this weekend, one of the last games of my season, and players are saying, if this happened in the Premier League, you wouldn't give it, or if this happened, you wouldn't. They're just refusing to accept me blowing my whistle and giving a foul one way or the other. They're coming in to have a go at me, offer dissent to the point where they get them put in the sin bin instead of just going, fine, it was a foul. Let's get back and defend, because they're just not accepting the decision. It's weird. It's filtering down. It's something else that needs fixing from the top down, and that'll do for refereeing news. next refereeing news is probably going to be after the Champions League final or after the final round of Premier League fixtures, where something controversial will happen and a team that loses will blame the referee. Because that's the way it goes. That is how things are now. It doesn't matter. It's never a team's fault. It's never a manager taking accountability. It's never the players weren't good enough or the opponents were too good. We would have won that, but the referee doesn't like us. Again, referee doesn't care. The referee doesn't not like you. The referee doesn't like you. The referee's just there to do a job. Grow up. Be better. Not going to happen though, is it? Not until massive cultural shift happens. And I can't, suck it up until it's fixed by greater powers than your local parks referee or your county football association. It's a bit depressing. What can you do? What can you do?